No, I know. Oh, finally, they must be done.
Greetings, deities of the Ninth Universe. I am Lord Frieza.
You insolent!
Cidra calls Frieza, seeking revenge against Beerus for their elimination by the 7th universe in the Tournament of Power. Frieza sees an opportunity to take advantage of this and asks the god of destruction of the 9th universe if he hasn't learned his lesson yet. Cidra replies that he knows what Frieza wants, to reign above Zeno, and that he can help him achieve this. The Emperor of the Universe asks how, and the god of destruction replies that to do so, he will first have to clear the path by eliminating a good portion of the existing gods of destruction. But unfortunately, he is not yet at the level for that. However, he knows a way to kill the gods without having to confront them directly. Frieza is surprised and asks how. Cidra says that first they need to make a deal, and Frieza asks what kind of deal that is. Cidra replies saying that Frieza can eliminate all the gods of destruction, except him, and in exchange, he will order his angel to take him to Zeno. Frieza says the deal is done, and when Cidra was about to reveal how to kill the gods, Beerus and Whis appear, and Frieza tells him to call back later and hangs up on the god of destruction. While playing with Zeno, Daishinkan notices that Vados has disappeared. He informs the Omni King of what happened, and Zeno asks him to investigate. The Grand Priest looks through his staff and discovers that Frieza is killing the Kaioshians, causing the death of the gods of destruction and the disappearance of the angels. He is intrigued because there's no way Frieza could know about this weakness of the gods of destruction without someone telling him. As he is a native of Universe 7, the Grand Priest decides to come here to confront the leaders of our universe, who are on the planet of the Supreme Kai. Upon arriving, everyone is surprised by the visit. Beerus begins to tremble with fear, and Whis asks his father what is happening. Daishinkan replies that Frieza eliminated the god of destruction of the 6th universe, Champa. Beerus, frightened, says that's impossible because he's not at that level, and the Grand Priest reveals that somehow he discovered the weakness of the gods of destruction and eliminated all the Supreme Kais of the 6th universe. This means that Vados is also dead. Daishinkan asks if Whis told anyone about this weakness, and a deafening silence fills the place. Goku asks the Grand Priest how he met Zeno. Beerus immediately tells Goku to be quiet, saying that's not the kind of question you ask the Grand Priest, but the Grand Priest just smiles and says he sees no problem in answering. Whis remains silent, listening attentively, while the Grand Priest begins to explain that he existed long before the current organization of the universes. According to him, at that time, the void was extremely unstable and many worlds disappeared before even developing. Goku is confused, until the Grand Priest reveals that he found Zeno completely alone in the middle of the void, silently observing everything. Beerus's eyes widen upon hearing this, and the Grand Priest continues, saying that he immediately realized that this small entity possessed power far beyond any comprehension. So he decided to stay by Zeno's side and help him organize the universes. Goku asks if that was the moment he became the Grand Priest, and the Grand Priest replies that yes, because someone needed to guide the most powerful being in all of existence. Whis had never done this before, until Goku asked him if angels constantly use Ultra Instinct. Vegeta is surprised and Beerus falls silent. Whis then explains that, for angels, the state is as natural as breathing, and that they practically never need to activate the technique like mortals do. Goku is impressed and asks what would happen if Whis simply deactivated it for a few seconds. The angel gives a small smile and says he will show him. Whis also says that Daishinkan can't even dream of it or he will be a dead angel, but since Goku was the only mortal to master UI, he deserves this privilege. For a moment, Whis completely lowers his guard. At that same moment, Goku feels an absurd change and realizes he can strike the angel if he wants. Vegeta's eyes widen as he notices that Whis' presence seems much more normal without UI active. But before they could understand anything else, Whis activates his technique again, disappears from in front of the two, and reappears behind them, saying that even an angel feels strange fighting that way. Beerus tells Goku that this is the difference between using UI and living in it. Goku asks Whis if, besides breaking angelic laws, there's any other way for an angel to die. The angel from the 7th universe says that no one has ever asked that before, and reveals to the Saiyan that yes, there is. Goku asks how, and Whis asks him if it isn't obvious. Goku says no, and then the angel explains that an angel's life isn't independent. Besides being controlled by the Grand Priest who dictates whether an angel will live or not, they also depend on the lives of the gods of destruction. Goku asks if his life is linked to Beerus's in the same way Beerus's is linked to the Supreme Kai's. Whis replies that it's not in the way he imagines, because the death of a god of destruction doesn't cause the angel's death, but rather leaves them completely debilitated, incapable, and inactive in the universe. The angel practically becomes useless and almost in a vegetative state. Goku is startled, and Whis says he expected that reaction and continues, saying that the angel waits for a new, compatible god of destruction to appear so that they can return. It can't be just anyone. It has to be someone needs to coordinate with the angel to avoid conflict between them. Goku asks Whis where the angel stays while he waits for this new god of destruction to appear. Whis tells Goku that he will leave him in the hands of Daishinkan. Goku asks why, and the angel of the 7th universe replies that the Grand Priest will take charge of his training. Goku is very happy to hear this and asks why they decided this out of the blue. Whis reveals that 2 angels suddenly disappeared, Martinu from Universe 12 and Mojito from Universe 9. He explains that this happened because Cidra and Jin died mysteriously, and that both he and Daishinkan suspect Frieza is behind it. Since the angels can't do anything due to angelic laws, the Grand Priest decided to take charge of Goku's training to make him capable of eliminating Frieza, as it's impossible for him to defeat the Emperor of the Universe at his current level. Whis also says that they considered contacting the Zenos, but that would be too risky. Goku agrees, saying it would be madness because the Omni Kings would certainly erase everything. They finally arrive at Zeno's palace. Daishinkan presents Goku with special clothes and says they can't waste any time, immediately beginning Goku's training. Subscribe to the channel and leave a like so you don't miss the next part of this story. Goku realizes that the only way to stop Black Frieza is with Zeno's power, but this time he doesn't ask the Omni King to finish him off directly. He remembers when Cidra lent his Hakai to his henchman from the 9th universe. The Saiyan then has a brilliant idea. He presses Zeno's button and asks the Omni King if he can lend him the power to erase. The guards become furious, thinking Goku wants to use Zeno's power against him, but Zeno starts laughing as if it were the funniest thing in the world. Daishinkan then asks if he really intends to do that, and Zeno replies yes, saying that Goku is the only mortal who deserves access to that power. Then Zeno takes Goku's hand for a few seconds. At that moment, an absurd amount of energy begins to envelop the Saiyan's body. The palace floor begins to tremble, and even the guards take a step back. Goku looks at his own hands and, startled, asks what's happening. Daishinkan replies that Zeno has just lent him a small portion of his erasure power. Goku tries to control it, but simply raising his hand makes a part of the void instantly disappear. Zeno starts laughing excitedly, while Goku realizes that this power is dangerous even for him. Daishinkan asks future Zeno what happened to him in his timeline after the Omni King erased all of existence. Future Zeno is startled and asks why he's asking this. Daishinkan replies that he doesn't know how they met in the future, but that in the present he and Zeno have a pact where neither can ever betray the other, because one's powers are the other's weaknesses. Therefore, neither Zeno can erase Grand Priest and the angels, nor can the angels seal Zeno. Present-day Zeno faces future Zeno, sensing a certain fear in his future self. After all, Zeno knows Zeno better than anyone. He then asks his future self what he did with Daishinkan, and knowing he couldn't lie, he reveals that he broke the agreement erasing the Grand Priest. Daishinkan is startled and asks why he did it, and future Zeno replies that when Goku summoned him, he didn't know the Saiyan or Earth, so he found it very strange that Goku had the summoning button, even believing that Daishinkan had given him the button, and upon seeing that Zamasu destroyed the entire hierarchy of the universe, he impulsively erased everything because his agreement with the Grand Priest no longer made sense in that world.